Hi everyone! In this video I'm going to show off some of the grading features that you can use in TLearn. So there are 3 different ways of grading and they all work well for different things. It's really just your preference on how you choose to grade, but I'll show you how to create all of them and then what they look like when you actually go into grade. So if you go to your assignments, you can click on any of them once you have them set up, or you can do this while you're setting up the assignment. But in your assignment settings, down here in the grade section, you will see this question that says grading method, and you can change these between simple direct grading, grading guide, and a rubric. So simple direct grading is basically you can write on the paper or the project that they submit, and then you type in the number, score, or whatever it might be. Whereas a grading guide, this is good if you have scores, like numeric scores that you want to give, but what you're really wanting them to focus on is the qualitative feedback or your comments. So that's really good for that. And then a rubric, which gives you a lot more wiggle room in terms of balancing those numeric scores with the qualitative feedback. So you have those things that you can look at. And then what you'll also want to take into consideration for this is your feedback type. So what I do is I actually just turn all of these on when I'm creating an assignment. And that means that I can kind of go back and decide, do I want to leave comments? Do I want to annotate their PDF? Do I want to, give them an offline rubric or something like that, or an offline grading worksheet? If I change my mind, I can go back. So I just turn all of them on. But if you have a particular way of doing things, then you can pick whichever ones you want to work with. So I'm going to get out of this. So let's say that you've got your movie response and you're using a grading guide to grade that. You need to put together your grading guide. So you can click the settings tool up here, and then what you'll look for is this term advanced grading and define grading guide. That means you still need to set up your grade guide for it. So I'm just going to turn this movie response guide. And then down here is where you will actually write things. So I'm going to give some different names and let them know how I'm grading with these. So this will be now the description for students and description for graders. Basically, this is just a section where TLearn is kind of assuming that you have a TA or someone who's doing the grading for you. So it's a way to give more specific feedback for what the grader is supposed to look for. But really, you can just make sure that you can just copy paste the same thing basically and make sure that they're the same if you don't have someone grading for you. And then down here you can click in here to put in frequently used comments. So let's say you're teaching a writing intensive course where the students have to do like 10 reading responses, and you're constantly telling them in your introduction, make sure you forecast or signal what you're going to talk about. You can just write that in here and it will add it to your frequently used comments, so it's there for you to use. So we can save our grading guide and make it ready. And then if you ever need to go ahead and edit it, you can do that. You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about it being set in stone. So right here, it's giving me a warning because I've set my activity to 50 points in the gradebook, but I just gave it more than 50 points. So in that case, I would need to go back and edit it. So let's see. That's 10. That's 10. Save it. There we go. No more warning. So it's there for you to use. And you can also publish it as a template. So my class has 3 movie responses. So if I wanted to keep using this, I could publish it as a template, and then I'd be able to just use it over and over again. So if I wanted to just name this movie response grading and then publish it as a template, I could do that. So I'm going to go to my movie response and go to view all submissions. I've got a few people. Technically they don't have submissions in anymore, but I can still click on their things and you'll see their submission come up here. You can click on these little sticky notes to change their color and then click here to actually give them a little comment. If you're always writing that too, you can add it to your quick list. So as you can see, I've added some comments that I use quite frequently to my quick list. So if you're always saying, hey, your introduction was solid, you can add it to your quick list and then all you have to do is click that. But what I really want to show you is this section where we have the grades. So this is the grading guide, and I can put in my qualitative feedback here. Hey, you did a good job on this. Make sure you're paying more attention to this, this, and this, and then give my student their numerical score. So I'm gonna give just 10 and 10 and 30 here, and then don't want to notify her. Save changes. So now it's coming up graded, and you can see when you scroll down here that her grade in the gradebook is now a 50. So that's what the grading guide looks like, but you might not want to use a grading guide. You might want to actually just do simple direct grading. And in that case, it's gonna look a little bit different. Not completely different though. You'll still have the window where their submission comes up. You'll still have all of these tools available to you. There we go. I'm going to open this up. So this is how you add the sticky note. If you need to move things around, then you want to hit the select button or the move button. The select is more for if you want to delete things, actually. This is the one for moving. You can freehand. You can draw lines, shapes, change the color, circle things, highlight things. And then you can use stamps. So there's a bunch of different types of stamps. Right here is the X, but you can use any of these as well. So you can mark up the paper that way. And then when you come over here, you've got, I don't think I turned everything on for this one, so it's only giving me the little box. So if I went to this and turned everything on the way I had for the last one, I would have places to write comments and upload upload, say, a Word document with my feedback if I wanted to do that. But since I don't have everything turned on right now, all I can do is give the score. So actually, let's go back and turn everything on so I can show you the difference. Again, that's in the settings for the assignment, and down here in feedback types, all I had was annotate PDF, and so I want feedback files, offline grading worksheets, and feedback comments. So I'm going to save it in display so I can go back to it. Oops. Go back to Jess's. So now I've got that comment section, I've got this feedback comment section. Let me describe the difference to you. So if I upload a Word document that has my offline rubric on it, for example, and save changes, that'll be there for the student. If I add my feedback comments here, hey, great job, da 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 da, save changes, that will be there for the student. If you add comments up here, you have to add your comment and save the comment. You can't just hit save changes or it will delete this. So it's up to you, but just remember that this comment section at the top has one extra step that you have to complete and then save changes before everything saves. So that is what simple direct grading looks like. And lastly, we're going to take a look at the rubric. So I've got my mythology paper here, and just like before with the grading guide, we're going to go down to advanced grading and we're going to define the rubric. So looks like I've already got some stuff here. So I already have some stuff here. I based it on context, content, organization, style, and delivery. And for each of these, as you can see, I put in the point value and the specific qualitative comments that I want. And so mine goes from I think needs work to excellent, and it's ready for use. So you do have to click through each of these and add all of the things that you want, but it's pretty quick, especially if you already have the rubric in a Word doc or somewhere else written down. You can just copy paste. So these are all just basically options for you about how you see the rubric, how the rubric works and calculates the score, how students see the rubric, and so on. Save. So again, you can always edit. Well, before students start turning things in, or getting grades rather, you can always edit. But you can also add a rubric, and so I'm going to go to another assignment to show you that. So let's do this one. So it looks like I don't have rubric scoring set up here. So again, to change how you actually how you grade, you'll come down to the grade button. Right now it's simple direct grading, so let's say I wanted to use a rubric for this. Change it there. Save. Oh, should have hit save and display, but that's okay. Alright, so now I have it set to rubric and I can come down here and define my rubric. So I can use this, or I can search for a rubric. So if I already have, so I have my assignment here, and now if I come here, I have define rubric, which that would allow me to build the rubric itself since I don't have one, but I can come up here to advanced grading. And so you can define the rubric from scratch, or you can create it from a template. So I'm going to click create from template, and I want to include my own forms. So I'm just going to hit search. So I have an example rubric, I have myth paper 1 rubric. So if I'm using something pretty similar to grade, I can come here and use this rubric. And all I would have to do is click this use this form as a template, and it would add this rubric to my assignment. So when you go into actually grade, this is what the rubric is going to look like. This is what it looks like if you're doing the grading. And as you can see, it's highlighting some of the things as I hover over it. So you can click that and it will stay highlighted. And that's what tells the gradebook how much you get. So we're just going to go through here real fast. Click a few of these. All right, save changes. Oh, I missed something. So it looks like I accidentally added boxes in the criteria section, but they do have just heading sections in the gradebook. So if I go down, I now have Jess's grade down here. So that's how the rubric works. So those are your three options in terms of how you would grade an assignment. Now you can just do offline grading and then go to your gradebook. So I'm going to switch classes here. If I go to my gradebook, so if you have, let's say you don't really want to give feedback through TLearn, maybe you have an assignment where you're going to have conferences, so you just want to give feedback one-on-one, and then you want to input the grade, you can input the grade directly right here in your gradebook. So again, I'm just going to show you how I got to there. So from my main page here, I just went to course management, and instead of going to gradebook setup, so that's how you put your gradebook together, I just went to the gradebook, scrolled down, scrolled over to the section I wanted, and input the grade. Now, sometimes at the end of a course, you'll be looking at your gradebook and thinking, why is it all different colors? So if you input the grade manually, it will always highlight it this gold color. If you grade it through one of the grading features that I've just shown you, it will just have the grade there in these natural gray and white colors. So that's the difference there. So those are the different grading features that you can use. And if you have any questions, again, you can always contact me at academictechnology@trinity.edu.